Now, Stop the War has a lot of support from trade unionists and all unions across the country. I've got a short message here from Lynn McCluskey, the General Secretary of Unite. Says, I want to praise the stand taken by Jeremy Corbyn against war in Syria. He has led from the front, true to his principles. I want to express my support and Unite's for the campaigning work of the Stop the War coalition. The MPs who voted for war will repent their vote. They have learned nothing from Iraq and Libya. The war on terror has failed on its own terms. It's time for a new way. It's time for peace. From Len McCluskey, the General Secretary of Unite. And now it's a pleasure to welcome from the National Union of Teachers Executive, Alex Kenny.
Thanks, Andrew. Brothers and sisters, I'm very pleased to be speaking here today on behalf of the National Union of Teachers and to bring the greetings of Christine Blower, our General Secretary, and Kevin Courtney, our Deputy General Secretary, who have both this week signed a letter supporting Stop the War coalition in the face of all the media attacks that they've had to put up with this week. We debated this at our executive this week, and we took a very simple position that's in three parts, really. The first thing is to say that our job as trade unionists and activists in this country is to stay the hand of our government and to make very clear to them that we do not believe the lies they're telling. We think their bombing will create more chaos in the region. It will create more refugees and it will create more recruits for ISIS. What we want to see is a diplomatic and political solution, one that will be in the hands and decided by the people of that region, not the bombs from our planes. The second thing we've debated was the fact that they seem to have not just an inexhaustible appetite for war in Downing Street, but an inexhaustible budget. At the time when they've announced huge cuts to the education budget, and in a week where it was announced that 100 libraries have closed in the last year as part of this We're All In It Together austerity budget, they can find untold financing for bombs and for war. This is a government that's got its priorities wrong. We say books, not bombs. Stop bombing, start funding education. And the third part of our discussion was about the narrative that the government is creating now, that if you are against bombing, you're a terrorist sympathiser, that if you're critical of what this government is doing, you are a potential extremist. And it's a very, very dangerous narrative because it's creating fear and it's creating confusion in our schools. It's creating a situation where teachers and young people are scared to debate what's happening in the world. They're scared to debate the issues they want to debate. They're scared to open up discussions that will help them make sense of the world because they're worried about being reported as a potential extremist. They're worried about being reported to the authorities. We know young people who will have wanted to be here today but took a decision not to because they didn't know whether there'd be any consequences for them when they went back to school or when they went back to their communities. That's a dangerous narrative, because if we shut down a debate in schools, the very place where debate and discussion should be having, we're allowing those children to go to other places we don't want them to go, places we want to lead them away from. They're going to go there and they're going to have those discussions there and draw very wrong conclusions when they should be having those debates in schools. And just to pick up what Andrew said, what sort of world is it when there is more interest and more criticism of Jeremy Corbyn for attending a dinner organised by an anti-war organisation, and nothing is said about those MPs who dine with arms dealers and dine with the countries who buy the arms off them? That's a society, that's a media that has got its priorities all the wrong way around. So we're very pleased in the NUT to support Stop the War Coalition. We want to help you build a mass movement against this bombing, a mass movement against the West intervention, disastrous intervention in the region. So we say refugees are welcome here, we say books not bombs, we say peace not war, solidarity from the NUT. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Alex, and thank you to the NUT for your strong support. Now,